So Google have just had their 2024 Made by Google keynote, and wow, they finally announced the much anticipated Pixel Watch 3, and I'm really excited about some of the upgrades that they're making to the Pixel Watch. And in this video, I'll talk about all of the new stuff that's coming to the Pixel Watch 3, all of the new specs, and also talk about how they differ from one of its main competitors, the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7. Okay, so let's talk about the design of the new Google Pixel Watch 3, and it looks largely similar to last year's Pixel Watch 2 with that pebble shape, so that's not a bad thing in my opinion. Now that smooth design worked really well in the last two versions, so I think Google probably went with the philosophy of if it's not broken, why fix it? So that pebble shape coming back in Pixel Watch 3 is really good news. So the Pixel Watch 3 is also going to come with Google's new Wear OS 5, which we saw previously in Samsung's Galaxy Watch 7 as well as Samsung's Galaxy Watch Ultra. So this is only the second manufacturer in 2024 coming out with Wear OS 5. Now the biggest change this year is going to be that there's actually two sizes of the Pixel Watch 3 coming out. There's the standard one at 41mm and a new larger version coming in at 45mm, which Google is saying is 40% larger than the Pixel Watch 2 last year. And it's really good to see this, as the 45mm version now gives users flexibility with that larger display that's available in competing watches. So for example, I've got Samsung's Galaxy Watch 7 in 44mm version here, and in my full in-depth review of this watch, I did say that it's almost the perfect size for all of the text, the colors, the animations, probably the perfect size for most people. So it's really good to see Google now giving two options, a 41mm version for smaller wrists and a 45mm version for medium to large wrists. Now in terms of colors, there's going to be 4 colors for the 41mm version and 3 in the larger 45mm version. Now the display is going to be Google's Actua display, which is just Google's speak for an AMOLED touchscreen with high resolution. And speaking of resolution, it's going to be 320 ppi, which is slightly less than Samsung's Galaxy Watch 7, but I can't think of any major issues there. It's also apparently going to be the brightest display of any Google Pixel watches so far. So it's going to come in at 2000 nits, which is exactly the same max brightness level of the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7. Now the display on the Pixel Watch 3 is going to be made of Gorilla Glass 5, which is an interesting choice because Samsung on the Galaxy Watch 7 went with sapphire crystal. Now sapphire is harder than glass and it's found in many outdoor sports watches, but there are differences in the way both materials can shatter. So it's really interesting to see Google still stick to Gorilla Glass 5, but I reckon that if Google were to make a Google Pixel Watch Ultra next year, they might go down the route of now implementing sapphire crystal in that Pixel Watch Ultra, but we'll see next year. Now, being a Google watch, there's obviously going to be a much deeper integration with Google's own ecosystem, products and services. So there's things like viewing the Google Nest camera feed straight onto your Pixel watch, controlling the Pixel phone's camera using the watch, using Google Maps offline, and so on. And there's also going to be something known as a call assist feature that can pick up an incoming phone call on the watch and then put it on hold till you find a quiet place to speak to the caller. Now, Fitbit, being owned by Google, will now naturally make its way back to the Pixel Watch 3, and with this watch you're going to get Fitbit's health and performance tracking features, and on top of that Google have now added in a bunch of new health and performance metrics for the Pixel Watch 3. Now they've made quite a big deal about running and advanced running dynamics on the Pixel Watch 3. So apparently the Pixel Watch 3 is now also going to have things like vertical oscillation, ground contact time, stride length analysis, pace analysis on the go, etc. Now Google made a big deal about the heart rate sensor accuracy on the Pixel Watch 3 as well. So I'm quite curious now to test out the heart rate sensor accuracy as well as the advanced running dynamics and performance metrics against a proper running sports watch like the Garmin Forerunner 165, and I'll put the full in-depth review of this watch in the pop-out banner and in the link in the description box below. Now I also recently tested the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 for running, and I actually came out quite impressed by some of the advanced running metrics and dynamics that it was giving out in the Samsung Health app. So that's another comparison that I'm going to run against the new Google Pixel Watch 3. Okay, so when it comes to the recovery side of things, Google is saying they've got 3 new metrics that they've built into the Pixel Watch 3. First, you've got Google's new readiness score in the Pixel Watch 3, which combines sleep, heart rate variability and resting heart rate, giving a holistic view of your body's readiness to take on energy intensive activities. Now they say that this is a new feature in the Pixel Watch 3, but readiness score has already been there in some of Fitbit's trackers as well as smartwatches. and they've bundled it up within their premium paid subscription. So I'm not 100% sure if this is going to come in as a free feature for the Pixel Watch 3 or if Google are going to stick us back into a Fitbit premium paid subscription to access this readiness score. Fingers crossed that it's a free feature on the Pixel Watch 3. Now that readiness score, I understand, is going to be very similar to Samsung's new energy score feature, which they've introduced in the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 as well as the Galaxy Watch Ultra. And it's kind of like Garmin's body battery feature, but Garmin goes a step beyond Samsung in that it's a dynamic metric, so it reduces as the day goes by. So I'm keen to see if Google now keep the readiness score as a static feature or make it a dynamic metric like Garmin's body battery feature. Now second, they're also introducing something known as cardio load, which can analyze your heart rate during training to understand if you're overtraining or undertraining, which it then uses to give a target cardio load for you to aim for every day. Now this again is similar to what Samsung is doing with their new energy score feature. Now lastly, the Pixel Watch 3 is apparently going to use all of that data and do some number crunching to give you a morning brief to show you how you slept last night, how you recovered from your previous day's activities, and how ready you are to take on the day's activities. Now, what I'm not quite sure of is the Fitbit app. Now, when I tested the Fitbit Charge 6, I went on a bit of a rant about all of the paywalls that I was seeing in the Fitbit app and how Fitbit locked all of those advanced health and performance metrics behind a paid premium subscription. So I'm hoping that Google don't go down that route of locking all of these advanced metrics that they've talked about in this keynote behind Fitbit's premium subscription. And I say that because when I recently reviewed the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7, I also reviewed the Samsung Health app, and I came out quite impressed with how the new Samsung Health app delivered a smooth app experience, gathered and presented all of this complicated health and performance data in a nice and intuitive way, and didn't have any form of paywalls in the Samsung Health app. So that's another thing I'm going to be comparing against the Google Pixel Watch 3. Now let's talk about the battery capacity of the Google Pixel Watch 3. Now in both sizes, they are very similar to the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7. Now the larger 45mm Pixel Watch 3 is rated to last for up to 24 hours with always on display and 36 hours in battery saver mode. Now this is way less than Samsung's claim for the Galaxy Watch 7, which is 30 hours with the always on display turned on and up to 40 hours with the always on display turned off. So 24 hours and 36 hours look a bit disappointing on paper for the Google Pixel Watch 3, and I think I know the reason for this. Samsung have managed to cram in a new 3nm processor in the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 as well as the Galaxy Watch Ultra, which is able to deliver a bit more efficiency when it comes to power and balance that with the actual requirements from apps that are running on these watches. And Google, for some reason, have stuck last year's Qualcomm as well as Cortex core processor in the Pixel Watch 3, and it just looks like there hasn't been any attempt by Google to make these watches a bit more efficient when it comes to processing power and balancing the battery requirements. Now, on the other hand, Google spent quite a bit of time showing a new feature called loss of pulse detection, where the Pixel Watch 3 can detect a loss of pulse event like a cardiac arrest, a respiratory failure, basically an event where your heart is not beating in a life-sustaining fashion. And it can then automatically call emergency services on your behalf, give them your location, etc. automatically, so they can get to you as soon as possible. Now, Google didn't speak a word about the GPS antenna that's going to be built into the Pixel Watch 3, but I did a bit of digging on their website and it looks like they're going to stick with a single band antenna on the Pixel Watch 3 with multi-satellite support. Now, I'm not very confident about the location tracking capabilities of the Pixel Watch 3, especially because Samsung have managed to cram in a dual band antenna in their Galaxy Watch 7, which in my full in-depth review performed fairly well and almost the same as Polar's Grit X2 Pro, which is a premium outdoor sports watch with dual band antenna. So we'll wait to see how the Google Pixel Watch 3 performs with that single band antenna, but at the moment on paper, doesn't look very promising. Now, when it comes to pricing, Google have priced the 41mm Pixel Watch 3 at $350 or £349. Now, the new larger 45mm Pixel Watch 3 increases to $400 or £399. Now, there's also LTE options available in each of those sizes for the Pixel Watch 3, and the prices Hear this right, the prices increase by an extortionate $100 US. Interestingly, I've also noticed that you can get a trade-in discount for the Pixel Watch 3 on their US website, but there's no form of trade-in discount on their UK website. It's just weird. Now, my personal opinion is that the specs and features on the Google Pixel Watch 3 are somewhat lagging behind Samsung's Galaxy Watch 7, but the prices, for some reason, are higher than the Galaxy Watch 7. And when it comes to value for money, I think, at least on paper, the Pixel Watch 3 might not live up to the benchmark set by Samsung's Galaxy Watch 7, but I'm going to give it the full benefit of a new and upgraded watch and give you my full, unbiased and in-depth review. And I've already pre-ordered the Google Pixel Watch 3 in the 45mm Bluetooth version in this matte hazel color. Now, don't be shy from tapping on that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my full, in-depth and unbiased review of the Google Pixel Watch 3, as well as an epic comparison between the Pixel Watch 3 and Samsung's Galaxy Watch 7. And whilst we all wait for the pre-orders to roll through for the Pixel Watch 3, don't be shy from checking out my full in-depth review of the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7. See you in the next one.